SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. I'm Peter Loshak, and we are previewing Week 3 in the NFL here at Inside the Lines, and we are talking right now with Joe Duffy from Offshore Insiders, a veteran handicapper who's had success for 30-odd years in the handicapping industry, and he's had great success this year in 2013, both at his site with his premium plays and in his recommended picks in our videos. Joe Duffy is 7-2 against the spread in the 9 games that he's covered in our videos. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us this week.
Thank you, Peter. It's one of my favorite times of the week, always.
All right, Joe, well, I really appreciate how you just take any, you don't sit there and say, oh, no, I have to find the perfect picks for me to go on record, and you'll take any game that I assign you, and as a result, you wind up taking a lot of games with very tough lines to handicap, and this is one of them. The Monday night game, Oakland at Denver, Denver minus 14.5. Before we get into it, give a little plug for offshoreinsiders.com and brag a little bit about how well you've done this year so far in the NFL.
Yeah, offshoreinsiders.com with the premium picks, 17-6 in the NFL since week 3 of the preseason. We told you right here at SBRForum that I tightened up my metrics. I'm really emphasizing a lot more the good old-fashioned techniques and kind of de-emphasizing some of the statistical models, et cetera. I'm using that more as corroboration. Our research made me 100% confident it was going to pay off big time, and so far the results speak for themselves. 17-6, granted, that's not long-term, but it's going to be long-term within a few weeks, and we're going to have one of our best years ever, and so far, so good.
So far, so great is how I would label it. Joe Duffy from offshoreinsiders.com. All right, Oakland at Denver. Now listen, I appreciate that you're talking about this game with me. You can feel free to just pass on a side here because this line to me, what are you going to bet? Denver minus 14.5 at home on a Monday night. They've obviously dominated. Oakland obviously is decent. They have a pretty spirited defense, but Terrell Pryor has a lot to recommend him, but he's still, this is going to be a tough assignment for him going on the road into Denver on a Monday night. Do you take Denver here? I don't know. Maybe you do. It seems like such a sucker play. They've scored 40 points in the first 2 weeks. Now they're a 14 and a hook favorite at home on a Monday night game. It just seems like the biggest public square play ever. But then again, what are you going to do? You're going to take Oakland, betting against Peyton Manning at home on a Monday night with that huge, huge offense. For me, it's a pass. What do you think, Joe Duffy?
No, I would agree. The side is much tougher here. It's to the point where is Peyton Manning almost like Kurt Warner was at that 1 year with the Rams where they won the Super Bowl, or the way Tom Brady and the Patriots were for a couple of years, that can they even make the line high enough? That is how good Peyton Manning is. I've said before here that I felt that he was the best regular season quarterback in the history of the NFL, and now he's having possibly his best year ever. 2 years removed from that neck surgery. He clearly feels that he's got something to prove. And you know what? We also said that Denver's defense is pretty shaky, so they're going to have to score a bunch of points this year. The Broncos don't have much of a pass rush. They're waiting for Von Miller to come back from his suspension. Remember that Elvis Dumervil is gone. He was a big loss. Denver hasn't done much to replace those guys, but one of the biggest under-the-radar injuries, Oakland, Tavon Branch, defensive back, he is almost certainly going to be out this game. We hear he's going to be out for a couple weeks. I'm going to 100% verify before placing a bet that he's going to be out. But he is a key part of Oakland's defense. He's probably their most valuable defensive player. And if he is out against Peyton Manning, it is going to be some serious trouble. Oakland's pretty darn good at stopping the run, and Denver's one weakness is they're pretty mediocre running. So because I think Denver's going to throw the ball 55, 60 times, the best play here has got to be the over.
49.5. All right. It also feels like maybe it's a little obvious considering how explosive Denver's offense has been in the first 2 weeks. So, Denver scored 40-plus points each week in the first 2 weeks. Why do you think this total is only 49.5?
Yeah, I think that Oakland statistics, they're a little bit, they played a terrible Jacksonville team last week where they didn't give up many points, and Oakland didn't have to open up their offense at all. And I think that's probably the reason why that, Oakland's, they're probably not as good defensively as statistics say, but they're better offensively. Terrell Pryor, remember what we've said, that in the past 3-4 years, maybe 5 years, rookie quarterbacks, well, he's not a rookie quarterback, a young first-year quarterback, they're usually the most surprising teams. And I'm telling you, Terrell Pryor, it's going to take a while for defenses to catch up to him, especially a very mediocre defense like Denver. So I think it's the fact that Oakland really hasn't had a very tough opponents. Their defensive statistics are a little bloated, but their offense, they are capable of being more explosive than they've had to show in the first 2 games.
All right, so your pick on this one, over 49.5.
You got it. That is official.
All right, I like it a lot. Joe Duffy from offshoreinsiders.com. Thanks so much. Talk to you again next week.
We shall.